percentile is very, very different than the life before percentile. Life before percentile, of course, is tough, it's difficult, but at least it in some way is predictable, that you know what you need to do to be able to reach wherever you want to. Life after percentile is more subjective, it has more ambiguity into it, right? And that's what make it more interesting, right? The skill set required for the life before percentile and the skill set required for the life after percentile are poles apart, right? So a person who is performing very good in the pre era might not be a very good candidate in the post era, and vice versa, right? So there'll be a lot of things which we'll discuss as a part of this session. Right. So agenda will be, we'll start with GDPI, we'll start with Prepzone. I'll give a brief introduction about us, what we have been doing, who all do we have, what is the best pedagogy for you to prepare for GDPI. Then I'll reveal a couple of important questions that are like must have to prepare for the GDPI exam, whatever B school institutes those are, right? And then later I will open this entire forum for the discussion. And in between, I'll also throw a couple of surprises for you. Okay, so let's begin. First of all, let me ask this question. Why do you think B schools even have a process called GDPI? If they're already taking CAT, they're testing you guys on your aptitude, decision making, and other aspects. Why does anyone need GDPI? And maybe put yourself in the shoe of the CAT convener and try to answer this question. By the way, I may not be able to look at chats, so you'll have to unmute and speak up.
I guess they want to see how a person articulate their thoughts into words and how he or she can effectively manage that particular situation.
Awesome. Very good. What's your name?
Shiv.
Shiv. Okay, Shiv. That's a good answer. Anyone else has any different opinions?
I also think that management mein aptitude is just one thing. Presentation also, carries a lot of weight. So, discussion, handling people, communication, all of that is also quite important.
Awesome. That's a good start. Anyone else wants to attempt?
They want to check how a person handle himself or herself in different situations, and like when everything is not going according to him, or how he manage in when someone with more presence is talking with him, some person who is more knowledgeable or more
Great, yeah.
like
I think all the answers given in this forum are pretty much there, right? Just to summarize whatever everyone has said. See, the CAT convener is basically an national level examination, right? And after you do this, you get your MBA degree, which is more like management degree, right? And after this, you will be in some executive positions. Of course, you will start with maybe sales, marketing, product management, consulting, finance, but at least after 5 years, 10 years down the line, you will be vice president, director of certain companies if you're trying to work in a corporate era, right? And as a vice president or maybe executive, you would be responsible to make certain decisions for the company, and those decisions will impact the entire society in some or the other fashion, both the society as well as the company, right? Hence management exams prepare you for 10 years down the line. And hence, like if I have to say this, right, that what percentage of management skill set is aptitude, and then what percentage of it is maybe your soft skills, presentation, thought process. If you're given any uncomfortable situation, any ambiguous question, if I throw to you, which I know for sure that you don't know how to answer, still, how do you collect your thoughts? How do you problem solve it on the go? Right? All of these is what make you a better leader and a better manager. Versus aptitude. Aptitude, yes, of course, you need to have certain aptitude so that whenever you're making any decision, it needs to be backed up by certain facts and figures, right? Hence, aptitude is very important. You should be able to understand, analyze data, right? Hence, that part is important. But 70-80% of a management is more around presentation and these soft skills, which is where GDPI comes into picture, right? So far, whatever you have done, 25-30% goes to that, into what you want to be, say, 10 years down the line from now, right? Hence, you would see a lot of examples in the past where 100 percentiler might not have converted IMEBC versus folks in 98, 99 percentile with, of course, certain academic diversity would have converted IMEBC, right? Hence, this biggest ego or कि यार मेरा तो percentile बहुत ही अच्छा आ गया, so hence I've already reached there. No, percentile is not even 50% of the race. Here, the major part of the race is still there. So folks whose percentile may not be that high, yes, this is your time to go and conquer it. And folks whose percentile is already high, you don't need to be overconfident because yes, you have taken the first step right, but you have to make sure that you also finish the race right. In fact, if I give you a couple of examples from my time during IIM Calcutta, I had a lot of folks. So 70-80% of my batchmates who got placed in great companies like MBB, McKinsey, Bain, BCG as consultant were low scorers, were not high scorers, because whatever mindset, those case studies, guesstimate that is needed is less of aptitude and more of how do you solve the problem on the go, right? And that's where you would see everywhere ki like 100 percentile to hote hi hai, but 85, 90, 95, 97 percentile, this is your second chance and the final chance in your entire career to go and make an impact, right? Whatever you do right now will govern your college, and whatever you do in the college is going to govern your next 10 years down the line. So hence GDPI is the super duper important race, not just from a convert perspective, but also from your entire career life ka, perspective. That's one. Second, GDPI mein, and hence when I said ki the first leg of the journey was little easy, it was because whatever you were doing, quant, LRD, or verbal, right? It had a definite answer. Ki yaar, BRC mein this is the syllabus, quant mein these are the modules, arithmetic, algebra. If I do these things, my percentile is near around guaranteed, right? This is what I have to learn. Versus GDPI where there is infinite syllabus. There is nothing like कि इतना कर लिया GDPI में तो हो जाएगा. The more you do, the better it is for you. You will never ever be able to say कि मेरा GDPI का prep is done. There will always be some areas where you can be stress tested into. So hence GDPI prep is tougher because it is like an ocean. कोई syllabus नहीं है. कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं तुमसे, right? And we'll go there कि यार what all kind of questions can be asked, and then how do you prepare yourself better at making sure ki how do you handle all of these uncomfortable situations, right? Hence GDPI is super duper important. I'm just laying the land here so that we all understand the value of GDPI, right? And before I move further, I'll just take a moment to say ki why my prep zone comes into this picture right now. By the way, this tagline that I've given, B school convert karna hai, to my prep zone is jana. This is not something that I have introduced, but I think 2022, 2 years ago, bunch of students has sort of come up with this tagline. So when you're asking them for their feedback on how their batch journey was, everyone stated this line. So that's when this started becoming our tagline, right? And then why do we proudly say ki yaar, if you do whatever we ask you to do, there is a high chance that you will end up converting whatever call you have. Whether you have one call, yes, one call will be converted. Whether you have 10 calls, yes, we ensure that you don't just convert one or two, but you essentially convert all of those 10 calls. And then we decide which college do you want to go to. And that is precisely why our entire trajectory has been 92, 94. Last 3 years, it is hovering between 96 to 97% conversion rate. And we'll go in details about what do I mean by those numbers, right? So that's all about why my prep zone, and we'll talk more about the details ki what all different elements are there. There are 12 to 13 attributes of your GDPI preparation. How do we handle it, right? But one thing to note here is CAT mein self preparation was possible, but GDPI mein, at least in my mind, you can't do self preparation because you definitely need someone care whatever you're thinking in your mind. Ki, for example, tell me something about yourself. You may have a version of yourself in your mind, but then how do you pressure test that? How do you make sure that you polish that version by say 5x, 10x? For that, you definitely need some experienced mentors who have done that, who have converted whatever is your dream B school and know what kind of answers are sort of acceptable and what kind of answers are not acceptable. Otherwise, it's like that RC passage ki yaar mujhe to lagega ki sahi hai, but then later on when the results come, we feel ki nahi yaar, this could have been much, much, much better. Right? So that's about it. Here I'll take a pause. I'll first of all show you on how do we prepare students so that gives you some realistic expectation on what you can expect if at all you're planning to join my prep zone, and even beyond, what are the kind of things that you should definitely do. Okay. So let me share you couple of portals, and then how do we prepare, like how did we prepare last year, so that it gives you a fair idea on, like, what you can expect. So I hope this portal is sort of visible to all of you. Just say yes if you can see the screen.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it's
I can see
visible.
the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the first student portal that you get access to. As in when you enroll, this is the portal that will get unlocked for you. What this portal has is, it is your Bible, not just for CAT, but for the next 2 years of your MBA as well. Be it your summer placements, be it your final placements, you will definitely need this. And how we are confident, because the last year students are still using it. I still get requests, sir, wo economics wale video mein, please connect me with the faculty because I have certain questions there. Now, what this portal does is, as in when you sort of get registered, there'll be some onboarding session where we'll guide you on the entire 6 months ka trajectory. Then we'll start with the personal HR. Till your ZAT exam, the first focus will be on finishing off your personal HR, because FMS, SPJMR ka form 2, all of that opens by December end. So you'll have to polish your personal HR answers, and that's what the next 30 days will be. कि अपने आंसर्स कर लो अच्छे से, and also get it reviewed by the mentors. Every mentor gives a final go ahead that yes, this mentor, this student ka personal HR answer is done, and only once it is done, it is then tracked, and then I myself go and review everyone's personal HR answers. By the way, what is personal HR? Personal HR is nothing but all those behavioral kind of questions, all those personal questions, know about yourself. For example, questions like, hey, if you are the Narendra Modi of India, what do you think you would do for the next 2 years? Where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? If you have to write an autobiography about yourself, what would the last page look like? Why should we choose you? Why should we not choose you? And then we'll talk about certain important questions that are there. But the point is, everything about personal HR, if you have gap years, how do you justify that? If you have lower graduation score, how do you justify that? If you have higher graduation score, questions like why not MS, why not MTech, why only MBA? All of those personal questions will be taken care of as a part of this, right? Then comes college specific part. For example, if it's Ahmedabad, it is AWT. If it is GLIM, it is AWT. If it is Nasimunji, it is basically case discussion. If it is SIBM, it is group exercises, right? So all of those, these school specific variants, VATs, PI, how do you tackle all of that? Then there'll be sessions on that, right? Then the third part is basically gaining the static knowledge about all the affairs, because whether you are from an engineering background or arts background, you all as the future leaders would have to have the basic understanding about economics, finance, polity, statistics, basic maths, mythology, understanding what is happening in the world, what is happening in the country. So that 360-degree knowledge is super important for any kind of student, whether you are a fresher or you are someone with 5 years experience, right? And that's where all of these sessions will sort of come into picture. There'll be sessions on microeconomics, macroeconomics from an interview lens, not very much in depth, but essentially so that anyone without even having a background should be able to answer questions like, what are Griffin goods? What are normal goods? By the way, these are the questions that were asked to the engineer fresher in top Blackie interviews, right? So these are not just the hypothetical questions. So that's what the third and the third part will be. Then whatever graduation stream you are from, right, there'll be sessions, there'll be rapid fire discussions on all of those, right? For example, this is essentially chemical engineering, similarly mechanical. These are only some of the parts. Don't think that other parts are not covered. The graduation revision covers everything, right? And maybe because we are talking about graduation, these are the streams which we have collectively already prepared notes, whether this stream is sort of currently in trend, what is the industry news about it, and question banks, right? So essentially every stream, be it commerce, be it BA, be it law, be it marine, be it psychology, physics, medical, her stream ka there'll be a folder that will be given to you where there'll be essentially questions like what are the recent developments, what are the different concept notes, question banks, answers, and all of that. So this essentially helps you to get started from the graduation stream, because you of course can't go back and revise 4 year ka syllabus in a defined time. So what we say is ki, yaar, we have already done that work for you because we are more experienced here. You only have to make sure ki whatever is given to you in the folder, you just revise that, you just practice that in groups, right? And I'll talk about what are the groups here and then how does it happen. We'll talk about all of that as a part of this demo, right? Then statistics, static affairs, right? PI kit, guesstimate, motivational session, current affairs, college specific. You can see Ahmedabad, Bangalore, FMS, Ahmedabad ka form filling. All of those sessions will happen here, right? Accounting, finance. So that's how the portal will look like. It is only 30-40% of the recorded sessions that we have recorded in the last couple of days. There'll be live sessions as well, which will again be recorded and given to you as a part of this portal. That's the first part. Second, the most important part as a part of this is the entire community of folks that you get. So we essentially use Discord as a platform uh, to help you prepare, so that we are away from the noises of Telegram, WhatsApp, YouTube. It's a dedicated thing. You'll have your own mobile app. You can use it on the web also. I'm just giving you a demo on how does this happen, right? So every day there'll be a current affairs topic, and you can see it sometime from last year. Last year we started the course from December 9th. This year we're starting from December 2nd, a week earlier. But that's how it starts. Every day there'll be a topic that is given to you, right? And then on the topic you will come prepared. Then there'll be a mentor also who will be asking questions. So for example, you can see Prashant sir has been moderating these sessions. He has been asking questions. And maybe let me just show you, right? For example, this session that happened, there were 90, 100 students. And then that's how, questions are asked by Prashant sir. Team participates in discussion. For example, what are Abrahamic religions, right? So you are given a topic well in advance. You come prepared, and then 9 to 10 p.m. every day, there is a discussion that happens, so that you know how do you, whatever you have read, how do you put them in the words. That helps you. Second, whatever questions you have, you also ask it here in this forum. And at the end of the day, all the discussion that happens is summarized in a one pager and is given in the form of a document to you, so that if at all before the exam you have to just go and revise it, you don't have to go through these tons of text. You can just go and revise that one pager. That's how this entire structure follows. So this is current affairs. Similarly, there are different wet topics that are given. There are different rapid fire discussion. For example, you can see graduation specific events test happens here. This is commerce, finance, electronics, computer science, metallurgy, maths, right? Important questions. Now these important questions are, I think this is what I took. For example, differences between commerce and finance. Any random static question that can be thrown to you in any stress interview. So these are the questions that happen. You try to answer. We try to sort of correct you, and it happens throughout the next 5-6 months, right? And besides this, there is also one interesting thing where every day one student is responsible to summarize the news for the day. And then you essentially come on the platform, share the news in terms of summary, so that while everyone has to go and read the news, but by any chance, if you're not reading it, or even if you have read it, you make sure that you don't miss out anything, right? So this is how the daily news gets shared in the group, and then you come, you ask questions, you participate, and do all of it. So this is how your Discord channel will look like, and of course will give you access to the actual B school interview experiences. There'll be, for example, this, right? You can see all the different colleges listed here. Against all of it, you will see interview specific questions and the profile of students who has given the interview. So these are not the curated one, but these are the actual students ka interview experience. Similarly, as I said, graduation stream maybe, then there are threads of every graduation stream where you come, you essentially form a group, and then whatever material we have given you, you discuss it. Then there is mentor who sort of moderate and all of that. But the point is just to give you a gist on how, this is exhaustive, this is demanding. So you come out of that comfort zone now itself, because the next 6 months is very, very, very demanding, and it's really going to govern your entire future. Right. So I think I've given you the demo of how the platform looks like. I've given you the demo of the portal. Now I would just quickly give you a demo of how do we track things, right? So everything happens on a Google Sheet. As a manager for tomorrow, even inside the corporate era, Google Sheets are the most often used platforms inside the corporate as well as inside your first year, second year MBA college. So your performance, for example, you are entitled to take 7 mock interviews. Even after 7 mock interviews, you can go and do the add-ons. For example, this student, Kunal Garg. By the way, this was a 99.99 percentile last year, went to IIM Ahmedabad, a CA guy. He took GDPI advanced guard, and then he also took certain add-ons. So his total count of PIs were 10. The mentor was Saksham, who was from IIM Bangalore, CA. And his first interview was taken by the mentor Astha. And these are the feedbacks that the mentor is given. And this is important for the student to go and revise before the actual interview, as well as the second interviewer, for example, Tushar Jejani. He had a sense ki, acha, iska last interview was something like this. So then the second interview was more around different lines. So that is how we track your entire progress throughout the entire, 6 months, right? And that is how it gets tracked for each and every student. Okay. So I'm just showing it to you so that you understand that this is more systematic, this is more disciplined, and you also come up with that mindset itself. Then we also track your entire preparation. Ki, yaar, hey, these are the different things that you're supposed to do. How much have you done? For example, these are the students, these are the mentor assigned. And then student and the mentor in together decides ki what is your prep level, right? So you can see majority of the students were high. Some of them have not marked, right? And then other things like the basic profiles is updated here. Then one important thing for you is, because I mentioned current affairs, right? So this is how, current affairs discussion happens. Every day you see this is the topic, this is the student who has summarized this entire article, and then this is how we create that consolidated one pager. So that later on, if you have to go and just look at the summary, you can just open this document, revise it, and then you are very much ready for your interview. Right. So this is how a very exhaustive sheet gets created college-wise across mock interviews and all of that, which you use for your preparation. By the way, I think I'll take a pause here, and the intent here was not to sort of scare you, but just to make you prepare on what is really needed from you folks for the GDPI preparation. Whether you're a part of my Prepzone or beyond, you should have realistic expectation. Any questions here before we move forward? Awesome. So I think I can see some questions.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, I have 1 year gap after my graduation. Does it create a harmful impact on my
No.
profile?
Just hold on to that question. I will cover that as a part of the session. Right. In short, no. And then
All right,
I'll
all
give
right.
you reasons also so that you are also confident on the answer. Right. So I think now that we have covered the demo, a brief demo of how the program looks like. See, typical journey that at least we guys follow is the batch starts from December 1st onwards. And these are the different trajectories. For example, the first 2 months is very much important for your current affairs and the academics. So near about by February end, all the current affairs topics and academic streams are done. When I say done, it is done from your side. It is also done from our side. Whatever events have to happen is done. Typically by December mid is when we assign you a personal mentor, and that mentor helps you with your personal HR answers, SOPs. Students who register early, they get done with this by December end, and student who joins late, they get it done by January end also, because February se to your actual process also starts, right? And then the live sessions or graduation specific events, all of those things start happening from January mid onwards. The first till January mid, your ZAT and other OMIT exams are also done. So till then, it is basically current affairs and personal HR. And after that is when results will be out. There'll be live sessions on budget, government schemes, etc., etc. Right? And till January, the idea here is that December and January, 2 months, you'll prepare everything. You'll go through all the content that we give you, and we will also give you a schedule. How do you have to prepare all of that? But from February onwards, you are mock ready. So the mock interviews and everything starts happening from February onwards. Of course, students who have their mock interviews early, for example, SPJMR calls are even out, and the first batch of interviews even start by January end. For them, the mock interviews start little early. But near about students who have their interviews in February end or March, the mock interview slots start happening from February or January end onwards. And it goes on till May, because last interview of yours is till April. Hence, it's a very long battle, 5 to 6 months battle is what it is. And you'll have to make sure that you have the full confidence and motivation to survive for the next 6 months. Right? So, yeah. And because of this entire pedagogy and the structure that we follow, we started in 2018, and this has been the trajectory upwards and onwards since last 6 years. So talking about last year, we had around 300 students as a part of the batch. What 97% means is percentage of students with at least one convert is 97%. It's around 287 or 288, if I'm not wrong, is the number of students who at least converted one of their dream B school calls. 1936 is the total number of converts done by 300, because one student can have more than one convert as well. So approximately 6 to 7 converts is what every student gets. And that's what this 1936 number is all about, right? And this 97% is an amalgamation of all the B schools. We even segregated the data, checked students who had a call from only IIM, ABCL, IK, what percentage of these students actually converted one of Blackie. So that number stands around at 95%. and all of this gets recorded in a sheet and everyone has visibility to that. So that's how we track the result every year, right? And the best part here is, yeah, so while you sort of read this, I'll also tell you one story, right? Whether you have one call or you have 10 calls, right? At this moment, at this juncture, none of it matters. So while last 3-4 days there has been a lot of unrest, sir, एक call आएगा, 10 calls आएंगे, कहाँ से आएंगे? But my point of view here is, यार, if you have a single call, that is your dream call that you really want to go to, leave aside कि दूसरी जगह से call आएगा, तीसरी जगह से आएगा, नहीं आएगा, go and go all in. Because one call is what you need to make sure that you convert it. We get a lot of students who have 1, 2, 3 calls as well because of whatsoever reasons. But they make sure that they essentially go and convert them, right? And that is the reason why we also have a program called GDPI Convert Guarantee, where we say, if you have one call, we will make sure that you will convert that call. If we are not able to make you convert that call, you take your full fees refund, because we are very confident here, whatever is the pedagogy, if you follow that, conversion to hui jayega. Right? Now here, the key thing to note and to also answer a couple of your questions are the last 4 pointers. I also saw one of the question here. I had, sir, 1 year gap year, right? So these are the actual student. There was a student, Aishwarya Behra. She went to IIM Bangalore. Her percentile was 97, 98. Of course, she had certain diversity, but she had 3 years ka gap because she was preparing for UPSC. Prior to that, she was from NIT Rourkela, if I'm not mistaken, and she went to IIM Bangalore. Then we had so many students with 4 to 5 years of experience. Pawan was there, Abhishek was there. These students converted their dream calls. Pawan was a student who had very niche work ex into aeronautical engineering, right? And he worked in the core, and then he's finally sitting at IIM Bangalore and is also a mentor. This is 3-year-older story. Then students with lower graduation converted, one of the black key. Student with 97, 98 percentile, but good in terms of academics, sitting at IIM Indore. So hence, the point that I'm trying to raise is, once you have a call, percentile doesn't matter. Because even if you're the last person who is called it for a particular interview, right? It is totally in your hand to just go ace your GDP and make sure you essentially convert it. Call aaya, iska matlab the other person really wants you to go and convert that. So that mindset, sir, percentile kam hai, call aa jayega to convert hoga bhi ya nahi aayega. I have received a lot of such questions in the last 2 days. Hence, I'm re-emphasizing, if you have a call, you have 100% chances of going and converting it, and a lot of results and a lot of testimonials speak about it. If you want to listen to those stories, go to our channel, go to my Prepzone testimonials, you'll see all of that, right? One thing here, our batch starts December 1st week itself. This year we are starting from December 2. Last year we started December 9, but this year we thought ki yaar, jaldi start ek kar dete hain, so that it gives us more time to make you prep well, right? A couple of things, no matter wheresoever you join, यार, if you are someone जिसको MBA इस साल करना ही करना है, right? कि यार फर्क नहीं पड़ता कौन सा कॉलेज है, but I have to go and but this is my last year. Parents शादी करा देंगे और I won't be given another year or chance to try for MBA. GDPI की preparation जल्दी start कर लेना, because it is a tougher battle and the likelihood of converting a call is also less here as compared to the CAT. That's one. Second, if you're someone who knows your score, who knows your expected percentile, and whatever calls that my Prepzone predictor or any other predictor for that matter, or Prashant sir ने कुछ अगर बताया होगा, if any of these source of truth is saying you कि एक call आएगा, and if that call is something that you're really really interested to go, guys, then you should definitely go and start your GDPI preparation right from now, right? Because एक महीना time waste करके you will be added on the same batch. Whatever is done for the first 30 days, you will pay the same fees, you will join the same batch, but with a backlog of 30 days. So the course will only become overwhelming for you as in when you delay, right? So it is in your favor that if you want to join and if you want to go for an MBA this year, and if you have a chance कि यार call तो आ जाएगा based on whatever score and the result that you got, start your preparation early so that you have enough leverage to play around, right? That's one. Second, by the time others join, right? So majority of the students, Janta, they decide to prepare for CAT by the time results are announced. Results typically ZAT के एक दिन पहले आते हैं. So by January 1st week is when results are announced. But उसके बाद भी then there are again a lot of uncertainties because percentile के basis पे फिर queries आती, call आएगा नहीं आएगा. So there are a lot of students who even start their preparation by January mid, right? And by January mid, from December onwards, you would have already done personals, HR, graduation हो चुका होगा, current affairs के 60-70 topics हो चुके होंगे, So already you will be like at this place against those students who are joining at January mid or onwards, right? Hence, in fact, we to close our batch by January second week, because then there is no point. There is no way that you can go and compete with a student who has started in December 1st. कोई chance ही नहीं है, right? And that's it. One point that I wanted to mention is, because I'm sure you all would also be writing ZAT and other management exams. So the way in which you will be able to handle is, we would require your 1.5 to 2 hours till the time ZAT is done. If you give us 2 hours daily till ZAT, I think your GDPI will be sorted. It will be in a good shape. But then that is what the course demands. 1.5 to 2 hours is what we would demand till ZAT. And after that, of course, the entire time is for the GDPI. Right? So I think that's about it. Then, yeah, I think a couple of myths, right? Ki yaar 99.9 percentile ke baad bhi, I know a lot of students, and again, I don't want to name it, but then students who have that confidence कि यार percentile अच्छा आ रहा है तो convert हो जाएगा, it is not guaranteed. बहुत सारे example है. In fact, one of the student is a serial 100 percentile student, but then not from this time. He is from CAT 2014, 15, 16. उसने 14 में लिखा था, 15 में लिखा था, 16 में लिखा था, 100 100 100 आया था. 14 नहीं हुआ, 15 नहीं हुआ, 16 में then he finally joined FMS, right? And predominantly this कि यार लगा कि percentile आ गई तो convert हो जाएगा. And back then awareness was also very low. अभी तो बहुत ज़्यादा awareness है, right? I think I've already covered कि why you should not be joining late if you belong to those two segments of students that I've just described. Then comes the key question. No matter wherever, whatsoever interviews you are joining, these are the basic questions that you will have to prepare, right? For example, let's just see, right? Why MBA? In the interest of time, I'll not be asking questions right now, and we'll do a separate event where I'll ask questions, I'll give you feedbacks. But questions like why MBA? And predominantly, I think even if I ask this question right now to majority of you, at least the engineers के side से यही Google based answer आता है. And up to GPT is also there, right? So then people also use GPT ki, yeah, this is my profile, tell me, redefine my answer based on my profile, and then give me a good YMB answer. Trust me, those GPT answers, पढ़ के ही पता चल जाता है कि these answers are sourced from somewhere else. These are not your answers. So again, don't make these mistakes to use GPT, LLM, Cloud, Microsoft, whatever. Google use में नहीं लेना है answers लिखने के लिए. Answer has to be yours. YMBA में एक typical answer होता है कि sir, I've done my engineering, now I want to do an MBA because engineering plus MBA will be a great combination. I'll be a great leader. I have technical skills. Now I want to acquire management skills so that I become a 360-degree leader, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure, like when I prepared, this is what the framework I also had in mind, but then this is not something that works, right? To be as blunt as possible. Because nearly every other student who doesn't prepare for GDPI, who will just go for the sake of it, and predominantly जो freshers होते हैं जिनका पहला attempt होता है, right? उनको नहीं पता होता है कि what does the GDPI demand, and hence they just go with this mindset, and वो लोग इसी type का answer देके आते हैं. So majority of you would try to answer something like this, sir, startup खोलना है, MBA will sort of help me, blah blah blah. But predominantly, at least the way in which we try to have this is, we have a lot of framework based sessions here. Frameworks like STAR framework, situation, task, action, response, right? And then you try to first of all lay the situation so that it is more storytelling. Every answer, especially personal HR answers, has to be storytelling so that the other person feels engaged and he starts asking you different questions, right? So for example, why MBA, right? So why MBA answer का framework ये रहता है कि यार MBA should not be the destination, MBA should be the path. So then what does it mean? Sir, I'm currently someone who is working in a company called ZS and I have 2 years of work ex. What I do currently is basically I do a lot of data analysis. I'm a BA here. I play with the data. My product managers, my managers ask me to do a lot of database analysis, right? While I do all of those database analysis, but then one problem that I face is, what is this data going to be used for? How do I make decisions out of this data, right? So that 360-degree problem here, I only do what I'm asked to do right now, but then why am I asked to do this is something that I'm not aware of, right? And then eventually 5 years down the line, sir, I want to see myself as someone who can take independent business decisions for the betterment of society. And then again, this is a very generic thing. We'll personalize it basis your thing. But then the framework that I'm trying to say here is that you try to say, sir, this is where I am right now, X. This is where I want to be, Y. And from X to Y, I require these 10 skills, right? Now to achieve these 10 skills, of course, there are 2-3 paths. But then MBA is the shortest and the most optimal path, in my opinion, which will help me move away from X to Y and will make me a better person to tomorrow. So then MBA is not something कि sir मुझे MBA करना for the sake of doing it, but then I want to do an MBA because it will help me become something that I really aspire to be. And why can't I be that person right now is because I don't have the skill set. What is stopping me to have that skill set right now are those counter questions that we'll have to then handle. Right? So this is how you, again, very generic, but I'm just laying those frameworks here. Next, why should I reject you, right? So just imagine इतनी prep करके तुम गए हो and then interviewer तुमसे पूछता है कि यार why should I reject you? Of course you will have that second thought कि यार does the interviewer want me to point down my weakness, because if I do so he might as well reject me, or is this that witty clever question that the interviewer is trying to play a game on me, right? So then answer should not be, sir, I am so super confident, I have all of these skills, so you should not be rejecting me, right? Then again, answer has to be very genuine. It has to be very truthful. Sir, so there's a smart way to answer these questions. Ki you lay the positive side of you, and then you also try to lay your 1 or 2 weakness. And those 1 or 2 weakness should not be extreme weakness, right? And then you essentially end your entire conversation with, sir, these are the 2 things that I am doing right now to overcome my weakness. But if you think that these are the skill sets that are like must have for now, then maybe you can give this opportunity to someone else who is better deserving, who has more skills than me. But I believe that I am a good aspiring candidate, and I know my weakness. So knowing my weakness is the first step towards overcoming it, right? So then these answers look more genuine, right? Versus मुझे तो सब आता है, I've gotten good percentile, so you can't reject me. Similarly, why should be selective? A lot of students try to answer it as, sir, I have good CGPA, I've done my engineering from say IIT, and I've gotten a good percentile, right? I have that good acumen, so you should go and select me, right? So then see, questions will be key in a particular call. For example, if you're called for say IIM Ahmedabad, right? All the other students who are called for IIM Ahmedabad would have had the similar percentile, some 99.78 mein baithe, right? So then if you use that as your USP or point of differentiation, it won't really give you any brownie points. So hence here, what kind of personal answer do you relate to a particular story so that you stand out, and the interviewer should also recall you by that story. यार ये बंदा तो वो था जिसने अपने बचपन में ये चीज करी थी, which has really shaped him as an individual. Those are the kind of personal stories that at least we expect you guys to sort of come up with, and then you discuss those stories with your mentors कि यार सर मेरी ये 10 stories है, अभी आप मेरे को बताओ कि out of these 10 stories, which story should I use for my YMB? And that's how you keep on refining your answers, right? Then why are you better than 10 others that I met today? One of the most trickiest question, right? Because whatever point you say, सर मेरी परसेंटाइल अच्छी है, मैंने एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा किया है, मैंने कॉलेज में इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट किया है, इंटरव्यू कैन ऑलवेज से यार जो पिछले 3 बंदे आए ना उनमें उन लोगों ने भी सेम चीज करी है. So then how do you differentiate yourself, right? So again, I'm not trying to answer these questions because these are the personal questions that we'll try to frame basis your profile, but then I'm just giving you those pointers to sort of think upon, right? Questions like इंजीनियरिंग के बाद एमबीए क्यों ही करना है? अगर एमबीए करना था तो तुमने बीबीए वाली स्ट्रीम क्यों नहीं ली? इंजीनियरिंग क्यों ले ली, राइट? अभी इंजीनियरिंग के बाद एमबीए कर रहे हो, देन यू आर एसेंशियली वेस्टिंग योर 4 years. Similarly, questions for arts, right? If you are going for some interviews like IIM Calcutta is again one of the example. Abhi to pretty much all the B schools started asking questions about maths. Questions like plot the graph of e to the power minus mod x. Right? And while good student can do it, even a bad student who is not so good with quant, right? तुम्हें अगर नहीं चमक रहा, x infinity पे 0, x 0 पे 1 है, so it has to be like this. It's an even function. That's also fine. But then the other person just doesn't want to test you on your maths का skill. He wants to test you on your basic problem solving skill. अगर तुम इसमें ये भी कर दोगे ना, x 0 पे वैल्यू 1 है, x 1 पे 1 by e की वैल्यू है, x 2 पे 1 by e स्क्वायर की वैल्यू, एंड देन पॉइंट्स को भी प्लॉट कर दोगे, it will also give some confidence to the interviewer कि यार this guy doesn't know how to plot graph. That is okay, but still he has a fundamental natural way to go and answer question. He doesn't give up, right? So this is predominantly to answer questions to those students who are not so good with maths and they keep on asking sir maths पूछते नहीं पूछते, right? Then similarly बहुत सारा स्ट्रेस इस पे देते हैं कि यार तुम तो जॉब ऑलरेडी कर रहे हो, why do you want to leave the job? 5 महीने पहले ही तो तुमने जॉब ज्वाइन करी है, while you think you want to be a better manager, तुम्हें better skills चाहिए, skill तो तुम्हें जॉब में भी मिल जाएगी, राइट? तो MBA क्यों करना है? तो इस पे बहुत प्रेशर टेस्टिंग होती है. Hence that 1 month of December to January mid that you spend has to be pressure tested कि यार अगर मुझसे किसी भी टाइप का क्वेश्चन पूछे ना, you should have an answer कि यार why not work, why MBA? Because predominantly work में you're working with say a product manager, whatever you would acquire during work will be a higher thing, will take you more time versus an MBA. Plus work तो तुम्हें सिर्फ एक वन साइडेड प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए सॉल्यूशन बताएगा, राइट? बट MBA will help you with those 360 degree knowledge and then you will fill it with certain jargons की case studies वगैरह करना है, and that's how you will try to refine your answer, right? So these are 5 questions. Similarly, there is a question bank and some sample answers of mine that I have attached against every question that you will use to prepare your own versions of answer. In total, I think 73 questions होते हैं. Iske beyond, there is no personal HR question that can be asked to you. That's for sure, right? But then these are the question sets that we give to you. You spend time, try to map your stories against each of these questions, and then you submit it with your mentor. Your mentor discusses it with you on a Google Meet, and then you try to come up with a final version of yourself. And you essentially test it in the mock interviews. Right, so this is again a flavor of how does MBA ka actual interview, mock interviews happen at my Prepzone and at actual B schools also, because some of you might be freshers who aren't really acclimatized to how does actual interviews happen. So this is for you guys, right? Great. Now, what are the different things? Because so far we have only discussed about personal HR, but is personal HR enough? Then no. What our GDPI advanced course ensures is that you have that 360 degree knowledge. It has 4 components to it, right? One is there'll be recorded sessions, live sessions of topics like finance, history of India. When I say history of India, initial capital was Calcutta, then it changed to Delhi in 1911. Why did it change, right? What were the main reasons? Mughal era में क्या हुआ था? Modern history में क्या हुआ है? Right? Before Mughal era, what has happened? Who was Humayun? So all of those basically last 100 years of Indian history and the international history is what is taught to you in a very easy to sort of grasp manner, so that you have some bullets. Again, you may not be able to recall everything, but if you do all of this, right, then at least you'll be super confident कि यार कल को कुछ भी random question आएगा, you would have at least heard it in one or the other session. So that will give you that confidence to be able to answer questions smoothly during your interview, right? Then budget. जिन लोगों का इंटरव्यू बजट के पहले होता है, questions that are very common is if you are the finance minister of India, what is the budget that you would propose to government of India, right? Then if your interview is after the budget is released, then questions like key things in the budget, shortcoming, if you have to go and change and maybe challenge one of the thing in the budget, what would that be? How is this budget different than last year? So it's not just this year's budget, last year, last to last year. So budget to बहुत exhaustive होता है, right? So then what are those key takeaways that you will take and then try to compare and all of those. So those are the things that will be done as a part of live session, rapid fire events or recorded sessions. Current affairs, as I said, it happens daily. It will start from 2nd December. It will go on till April. Daily एक topic होगा. Iske beyond, Prashant sir himself also writes 50-60 write-ups on important topics, and then he will submit it to you so that you can just consume those 50-60 write-ups and then discuss it with him. Besides this, there'll be live sessions also on topics like Russia, Ukraine. Those broad topics that requires a lot of historical context will be taken in the form of live sessions. And then other events are the rapid fire events where we'll discuss this. Similarly, third contributor of the course is the question banks, where you get access to graduation question, maths ke questions, right? And maths ke questions, especially to engineers, are being asked. And when I say engineers, what is the difference between degree and order? So just go back to your class 10th, 11th, science math students, right? There was a topic called differential equation. वहाँ पे एक degree होता है, एक order होता है, right? Differential equation क्या होता है? What is integration? How do you explain integration to your grandmother? Why do you use plus C in indefinite integral, right? What is the integration of e to the power x, right? So all of those things जो अपन करते हैं, right? Like whatever has been done, we don't expect you to go and revise all of this, and hence we do it in the form of rapid fire, so that if you attend these sessions, तुम्हारा पूरा 11th 12th revise हो जाएगा, right? Similarly, then there are events for non-engineering students as well. Okay. Then this year what we have done is we have created a detailed 270-pager PDF which has every college of India, and then you just link there, you will be given access to the क्वेश्चन बैंक्स कि यार इस कॉलेज में इन प्रोफाइल वाले स्टूडेंट्स को ये सारे क्वेश्चंस पूछे हैं, ग्रेजुएशन के ये पूछे हैं, नॉन ग्रेजुएशन के क्वेश्चंस ये पूछे हैं, सो दैट एटलीस्ट बिफोर योर इंटरव्यू यू कैन जस्ट ग्लैंस एट कि यार हे दीज आर द काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड टू मी एंड देन यू आर बेटर प्रिपेयर्ड. Besides this, the major thing is one-on-one mentorship. The mentor that will be assigned to you would have for sure converted your dream call. For example, if you're someone who's expecting a call from IIM Ahmedabad, you will have a mentor who has converted IIM Ahmedabad for sure, right? Second, if you are a student whose best call is IIM Rohtak, you would have a mentor who has converted IIM Rohtak. So the mentor is not like कि सबको IIM Ahmedabad का mentor देंगे या सबको रोहतक का mentor देंगे, because Ahmedabad wala mentor might not be a very good mentor for someone whose best call is IIM Rohtak, and vice versa, right? So hence mentors are also personalized. One is best call convert. Second is graduation stream. Person from arts background will get a mentor from arts. Person from BDS background will get a mentor from BDS. Person from law background will get a mentor from law, and so on and so forth, right? Similarly, third contributor is industry. If you're someone who has worked in IT, we try to give you a mentor who has also worked in IT, right? And these are the mentors who will help you with your SOPs, forms, essays, answer edits. FMS का form आएगा, IIM Bangalore का SOP आएगा, Lucknow का SOP आएगा. So all of those SOPs are then taken care of, right? Then, as a part of this, we give you 7 mock interviews, and these are the video-based interviews, right? Which also gets recorded, and then you can revisit it to sort of analyze how did the interview happen. Now, the beauty of these 7 mock interviews is you can choose who do you want to take your interviews with. So, पहला इंटरव्यू मैंने शुभम सर के साथ लिया, सेकंड इंटरव्यू मैंने मे बी कॉमर्स वाले के साथ लिया, थर्ड इंटरव्यू मैंने आर्ट्स मेंटर के साथ लिया, बिकॉज यू डोंट नो कि इंटरव्यू में जो पैनलिस्ट होगा वो तो डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड से होगा, राइट? तो देन यू कैन ऑल्सो चूज किया 7 अलग अलग वेराइटी के मेंटर्स के साथ मैं इंटरव्यू देता हूँ. There'll be some mentors who are working in some RBI bank right now, and then they are also with us. Then there are some mentors who are 15 years experience. There are some mentors who are like 4-5 years experience. So you essentially get that variety of exposure in this, right? Then VAT, there'll be 4 VAT topics given to you one at a time. एक टॉपिक आज देंगे, 24 आवर्स का डेडलाइन होगा. You'll be asked to write on a 1 page or A4 size paper and then submit. उसको स्कैन करके तुम सबमिट करोगे ड्राइव पे. Then your mentor will evaluate it, give you a feedback and an objective score out of 10. कि यार your VAT का submission has a score of 6 out of 10 and these are the 4 areas of improvement. Then the mentor also writes on the same topic. अगर हमने तुम्हें topic दिया, for example serendipity, right? We'll also write on the topic and then we'll submit our write-up to you so that you can compare कि अच्छा, this is how the mentors have written. So this is the framework in which you have to go and write VAT. For example, every VAT should be divided into 4 paragraphs. First paragraph should be this. नीचे एक rough का section होता है where you structure your thoughts and all of that. So we'll talk about all of that, but this is how the VATs happen. Then college-specific preparation like GE, GI, CD, group discussion, group interviews for SPJMR and all of that, right? I think this is mistaken. This is not 80 plus, this is 150 plus mentors. But yeah, that's the gist of the GDP advanced course that we have in stock for you. Okay. Any question here before we move forward? Awesome. And by the way, you get access to this till your summer placement. So almost all of you would be using this in your summer placements also to sort of go back and revise this. क्योंकि यही सब तुम्हें summer placements में भी पूछते हैं, right? Then I think I've already spoken कि यार इस तरीके से तुम्हें portal दिखता है, and then right hand side is one of those tabs in the Google Sheet that I showed, जहाँ पे हम तुम्हें एक visibility दे देते हैं कि यार अगले एक महीने में these are the sessions that are planned, these are the live sessions, these are the current affairs discussion, these are the open sessions. So this is a snapshot from last year. Similarly, this year it will be given to you again. But that planning has already happened is the point of view, and the moment you enroll, you will have exposure to all of this. These are those, as I said, 150 plus current affairs write-ups तुम्हें मिलते हैं as a part of the course, right? So these are the snippets of those write-ups that are given to you. These are the 2-pager vetted write-ups on different current affairs topics, so that you just go and then read through it. अगर time नहीं है, interview जल्दी है, तो सिर्फ short में तुम पढ़ के भी जा सकते हो, right? This year, these are the mentors. This year we have 166 mentors from all the B schools of India, from all the streams that are quite possible. In this poster, it is only some of the mentors because poster was too short to accommodate 160 mentors. But yeah, this is something that I'm super duper proud of. The batch will start from 2nd of December and it has all the stats that you need. Okay. Yeah, I think one question that also keeps on coming is, so what are the different variants? So this is the slide for that. Typically, there are three variants: GDPI Intermediate, GDPI Advanced, and GDPI Convert Guarantee. GDPI Advanced is the recommended one, the middle one, and it has the price mentioned. What all are the different offerings is, first of all, I'll talk about advanced and the convert guarantee. दोनों में कोई difference नहीं है, right? सब कुछ exactly same है. The only thing is, in convert guarantee you have the flexibility to choose your own mentor. So we'll give you a list of कि यार ये 160 mentors है, तुम choose कर लो कि तुम्हें कौन सा mentor चाहिए. That flexibility is there with convert guarantee. Advanced में वो flexibility नहीं है. But having said that, we also do the same thing. हम तुम्हारी profile की basis पे we assign a best fit mentor to you. That's one. Second, if you are someone who needs ke nahi yaar, I don't want to depend on my Prepzone, sir, I want to choose my own mentor, then you have the flexibility to take an add-on of 1,000 rupees and choose your own mentor as well. Rest, course ka offering, personalization, number of interviews, everything is same in advanced and convert guarantee. The only delta is convert guarantee is the first program in India which says yaar agar tumhara call convert nahi hota hai, then your fees is refunded subjected to certain TNCs. TNCs are like, अगर हमने बोला है कि ये करना है तो तुम्हें करना है, राइट? ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए दैट वी आस्क यू टू टेक मॉक इंटरव्यूज एंड देन यू डोंट टेक मॉक इंटरव्यूज एंड कल को बोलो कि सर मेरा तो कन्वर्ट ही नहीं हुआ, राइट? दैट शुड नॉट हैपन, राइट? सो इफ यू आर समवन कि यार सर मेरा तो एक ही कॉल है, आई एम मुंबई इज माय ओनली कॉल, आई डोंट हैव एनी अदर कॉल, अब आई डोंट नो वेदर आई शुड गो एंड स्पेंड 20,000 फॉर दैट और नॉट, देन कन्वर्ट गारंटी इज दैट hedging the risk कि यार अगर कन्वर्ट हो गया देन ऑफ कोर्स इन द हिंडसाइट ऑल ऑफ दिस इन्वेस्टमेंट इज वर्थ इट, बट अगर कन्वर्ट नहीं हुआ देन योर फीस इज आल्सो रिफंडेड, राइट? एंड वी बट नियरली 98-99% कन्वर्जन रेट रहता है कन्वर्ट गारंटी प्रोग्राम का, बिकॉज मतलब कन्वर्जन तो हो ही जाएगा यार, इफ यू डू एवरीथिंग दैट वी आस्क यू टू डू, कन्वर्जन इज सॉर्ट ऑफ नियरली गारंटीड, right? Then the difference between intermediate and the GDPI advanced is the number of mock interviews. Intermediate has 3 mock interviews, advanced has 7. Second, the personal HR answers के edit, reviews, SOP edits, reviews, feedback from the mentors is not included in intermediate. It is included in GDPI advanced only, right? These are the majorly 2 deltas in intermediate and advanced. Rest of it कि क्या access तुम्हें मिलेगा, कौन से session में तुम participate कर सकते हो, everything remains same, right? Hence our recommended product is GDPI advanced because 7-8 interviews तो तुम्हें चाहिए to convert and to be very confident, and you need mentorship to be able to refine your answer. But again, you can decide basis your different parameters and your need, right? So these are the different GDPI course variants that we have. Details are of course given on the website. You can go back, check all of this. But see, lot of times during the course you will feel overwhelmed कि सर नहीं हो रहा, give up हो रहा है, सर मुझे तो FOMO feel होता है, because when you discuss in a batch of 300 students and 99% students को लगता है कि यार मुझे तो कुछ आता ही नहीं है, there are other students जिनको सब कुछ आता है, current affairs इतना strong है, तो FOMO का feeling आएगा, which is natural. But that's what the mentors and me and Prashant sir will be for, right? You can always reach out to us कि सर समझ नहीं आ रहा है, we need more clarity, right? But feeling FOMO is a good attribute because then you're sincere and then you're actually taking it to your heart कि हाँ कुछ नहीं आता है, and only then you'll improve. But yeah, a couple of expectations that we have for you is deadlines will be super sacrosanct. If you have an interview scheduled tonight at 11 p.m, you have to be there at 11 p.m. If by any chance तुम सो गए या तुम बाहर चले गए या तुमने इंटरव्यू कैंसिल कर दिया, then your inventory is taken. जो तुम्हारे साथ 7 mock interviews है, 1 mock interview का inventory will be taken. There'll be no second chance. If you have a submission deadline of VAT tonight at 23:59:59, you have to submit it by 23:59:59. अगर ये 12 बजे के बाद भी submit हुआ, that VAT का write up will not be evaluated. So course में punctuality is there. Deadlines will be super sacrosanct both for the mentors as well as for the students, because that's how you will develop that habit of being punctual. And by the way, fun fact, जब तुम कॉलेज में जाओगे फर्स्ट ईयर में, all the B schools have that summer CV के लिए process जहाँ पे companies आती है, you have to go and apply for it, and every company has a deadline, and your place commerce will also open CV review के लिए, CV verification के लिए different slots, and if you miss the slot even by 5 seconds, the place commerce or the companies will directly reject you. So hence it's a step right from now that you start getting disciplined, you start getting adhering to all the timelines and deadlines that we sort of set for you, right? And then sincerity and dedication. Ki yaar, if we give you ki, hey Manish, these are the 3 things you have to do by day after tomorrow, it has to be your responsibility to make sure, plan your schedule, do not sleep if that is required, but those three things have to be done. You can't come back and say, सर बहन की शादी आ गई, सर मैच हो गया, सर आई फॉल इल, सर घर में ये इवेंट हो रहा था, बहन की शादी थी, something happened and hence I was not able to do this. All of these excuses will not be entertained, right? That's it. And if you do all of this, what I can assure you is, convert to, definitely you should be able to convert all of your call. But even besides that, right, 4-5 months down the line, you'll be a very different personality than what you are right now. अभी लग रहा होगा सर मैं तो इंट्रोवर्ट हूँ, मैंने कभी कॉलेज में पब्लिक स्पीकिंग नहीं करी, मैंने कभी न्यूज़पेपर नहीं पढ़ा, आई डोंट नो हाउ टू स्पीक, मेरी इंग्लिश कमजोर है. ऑल ऑफ इट डजंट मैटर. आई कैन बेट यू 6 महीने बाद जो तुम्हारी पर्सनालिटी निकल के होगी, राइट, दैट्स गोइंग टू बी सुपर डुपर इवॉल्व. मतलब you'll be a person who can speak on any damn thing. तुम्हें नहीं भी होता होगा ना, स्टिल तुम फंडे तो मार ही लोगे कि यार, हे दिस इज व्हाट द टर्म इज, दिस इज माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, प्रोस कॉन्स एक्सेट्रा. You'll be able to do all of that, and that will help you not just in your MBA journey but in your life, in your corporate era as well, right? So, and in fact I'll show you a couple of those stories जहाँ पे यार स्टूडेंट इतना स्टैमर करता था, हिंदी बैकग्राउंड से आया था, he was from a village, and then what was his personality 6 months down the line, right? Enrollment procedure, GDPI Advanced is the program name. Go to our website, buy now पे click करो, make the payment, and then you can ping me on WhatsApp. My number is attached across all the slides, right? Yeah, these are the certain snippets, and I'm super proud of these because these were the students who were very much in touch with me, and these are very personal and emotional stories. Abhishek, I don't know if you recall, but I mentioned Abhishek was a person who had that 5 years of experience, right? उस सारी होप खो चुका था बंदा, 3-4 बार उसने रिपीट कर लिया, नहीं हो रहा, 5th टाइम वापस से उसने कैट दिया, एंड देन ही लॉस्ट ऑल द होप कि यार नहीं होगा ब्लैक ही तो. He was from a commerce background, but then eventually he is currently into IMK. One of the most disciplined students that we had, right? Similarly, Anvesha went to IIM Bangalore. Kashish is there in some of the top B schools. Rajat Dalai had 3.5 years ka gap year, and he is again one of the students who converted IIM Lucknow. Right? Sahil Parab went to IIM Calcutta, if I'm not wrong. Dhruv went to IIM Lucknow. Pranjal went to IIM Ahmedabad. She is again a girl from SRCC. She was there with me for the CAT mentorship. Very underconfident. Matlab, yes, she was a little underconfident, but after all of that, after 6 months, she converted IIM Ahmedabad. She didn't have that hope, but then when the result came, she was like all excited for this, right? Then, yeah, this particular student, you can see Nadeem Hussain, right? This story is very emotional. He was that person who was from a small town in Kashmir, right? He comes from a very, very, very humble family, right? Had no hope, couldn't even speak properly. And then that person actually converted IIM Calcutta. For some of the personal reason, he had to take a drop, but then he was so emotional, he started crying, and then he just called me. He made me speak to his mother, and then they were crying. They were like, there were tears of joy. And then, like, these are the memories that you make as a part of this. And then you don't establish a relation ki yaar ye mere mentor hai, ye sir faculty student wala relation nahi hota. It's more like buddy, mentors who are there throughout your life. And then the moment you need it, it is essentially a my Prepzone community where you are added, and then you can chit chat, you can discuss about anything, right? Then these are certain other stories. You can pause this video and then maybe look at all of that. These are the last year college wise stats कि यार IIM ABC के कितने students थे, Blackie के कितने students थे, etc, etc. And yeah, I think that's where I'll take a pause now. And I hope this is not overwhelming. फटना नहीं चाहिए. Again, the intent was not to scare you, but to give you that realistic idea कि यार, let's come out of that. सर क्या इस स्कोर में परसेंटाइल क्या आएगी, परसेंटाइल पे कॉल आएगा नहीं आएगा. You have done all of that since last 2-3 days, but now you nearly have an idea, right? Basis that, decide and think about here, what is there next in your life to go and acquire, right? And this is a very different journey, so you have to act little mature. You have to come out of that zone. Sir, Bangalore se to call aa gaya, Calcutta se nahi aaya. Doesn't matter. All you need is one call to be able to convert that, right? Awesome. I'll take a pause now. Quite a monologue for me, but yeah, shoot your questions now.